Let's look at the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith. So what's important about that movie? Well, first of all, it was one movie in a very long line of movies about killer pathogens. And not only was it about a killer pathogen, there was a doctor, a scientist who was going to save the day with an injection. And the pathogen did some real bad things. Now, there was about 300 movies like that over the past 15 years. And the reason that is, there we go, my color on my camera was fading a bit there. The reason for that is because your movie screens are part of what's called the fifth generation warfare model. And your screen is there to hijack something called the subconscious mind pathway. And the subconscious mind pathway is a very loving part of your brain. It loves you. It wants you to be safe. It wants you to be secure. And it has a way that it accomplishes that. It looks for repetition in everything you've ever seen through your eyes and also hearing through your ears for your entire life. And you might have seen I Am Legend with Will Smith. You might have seen something like Contagion with Matt Damon. You could have seen something like Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman. You could have seen World War Z with Brad Pitt. 28 Days. There were so many Resident Evil, so many movies in this genre. And even if you just saw a couple of them, or even if you just saw two of them, the subconscious mind pathway is collecting repetition all the time and kind of matching things up on this list that it makes. Your subconscious mind pathway is similar to that game of Uno. When you were a kid, there's a card game called Uno, and you would put all the cards face down on the table, and then you start flipping them up two at a time, and your brain had to remember the similar cards, like 2 strawberries, 2 tennis rackets, 2 pumpkins. This is what your subconscious mind does. It's always looking for repetitions of 2 or more. And then what it does is, this is when it gets a little creepy, it literally formulates what repetition that it recorded, and it sort of graduates it into a level of truth or something you want to mimic and emulate in order to fit in with the bigger herd. See, the more repetitive the message, the more repetitive the symbol, the more repetitive the imprint or the genre of movie, it simply means that this is an idea, theme, belief system that is held by quite a few people in the tribe. And then if you mimic, emulate, and mirror it, there's a good chance you'll be accepted by the majority or a pretty big group. And if you can bond with a bigger group, you're safer. So this is how this loving part of the brain, through repetition, controls your behavior, makes you live out the most repetitive content, makes you act it out in an attempt to find safety with the bigger group. So, what these movie genres were for, what I Am Legend with Will Smith was for, was to program you. Was to program you with an idea about invisible things that float in the air, that can infect you, that can change you, that can make you sick. And they did a real good job at scaring you, because when you're scared, this sort of mimicking of the safety-based solutions in the film really get adopted by the people who are scared. So the clever thing about I Am Legend with Will Smith, if you know mind control, brainwashing, and behavior modification, is in the movie, Will Smith lost his wife because of this thing. He lost his daughter because of this thing. And in the end, he also lost his dog. This was all done on purpose. If you are versed in the knowledge of how to control the beliefs and the behaviors of the uninformed masses, you want to add a lot of fear-based emotion to not doing and participating in the solutions that you're told by authority. So authority would be telling you, yes, there's an invisible pathogen. You have to do X, Y, and Z to save yourself. And if you don't, you end up like Will Smith. Wife passed away, daughter passed away, dog dead, and everybody else in New York City dead. And that's there to mind control you and persuade you and what's called behavior modify you to do exactly what they wanted you to do in 2020. And they actually manufactured all those movies for decades prior to make sure they would guarantee that your behavior-based solutions were solidified and that your marching orders were pre-formatted and pre-scripted in your behavioral pathways before the emergency came along. So that's how clever these people are. But if you can pull back the green curtain at Oz and see that little fat man behind the green curtain pulling all the buttons and pushing all the levers, you'll understand that this is one big stage show, one big fabricated illusion-based reality, and you can keep your emotions in check through knowledge, through education. Knowledge is power, power up. If you want any more information like this, please email me at jason@freedomfromselfsabotage.com. I'll put you on my email list, and I'll send out the Christoff report 3 to 4 times a week, and you'll benefit from that greatly. No charge, of course. This is Jason Christoff signing off. Thank you for listening.